everyone. Thanks for listening to the entire season 1 of the Wayfare Podcast. This is going to be the kind of a lower key, hoping like journal entry vibe. But thanks again for listening to season 1. Thanks for checking into this epilogue season finale. The goal with this particular episode is kind of doing a little bit of a check-in with the season. I'm kind of treating it as a like thoughts for how the season went, for what I'm thinking season 2 is going to look like. Is there going to be a season 2? And kind of like what I was thinking about doing or how I'm feeling about the overall season. So the goal with season 1 of Wayfare Podcast was more of a goal of just kind of getting some FaceTime with you guys, some FaceTime with going over the journal. I really wanted to make sure it felt like you guys were having like some good FaceTime with me before you actually got on a call with me. So you kind of know what to expect when we do jump on a call. If you choose to want to go with me. Because I mean, the workbook is pretty open-ended. Like you could take it and just run with, oh, cool. I found this workbook. It really helped flesh it out. I'm going to go to this local guy I know in the middle of, I don't know, Nebraska, if you live out there, or if you found some guy out there and you don't live there. The goal is to just build credibility for the brand that I am running right now. And and giving you guys FaceTime, like, cool, I found this PDF, but I have no idea who I'm talking to or who's writing this. Well, hello, it's me. So that was one goal of it. Another goal is just, this is kind of something that I've always wanted to do. Like I've said in a previous episode that like I do have a fun side project podcast that me and one of our techs at Wayfare we do together. That's kind of talking more about like beer, like it's a beer podcast. And I kind of said that was my way of showing like what this brand could do as proof. This is what our studio can do if you watch the video version of it. As of this recording, we don't have a video podcast out though. Hopefully soon we will. Or this is what we could do with the content editing. This is what the graphics look like. This is what the publishing looks like. But it was never a Wayfare recording branded. So that's what I was hoping I could do with this as well, was just kind of be able to put some proof into what we could do. Now, ironically, and maybe it's ironic, I can never actually get the definition of that word down correctly. I think this is the right way of putting it. But ironically, I'm not using the studio. I'm not using the high-end microphones. I'm not using it's not high end, but I am using the same computer, but in a different format. I usually use my laptop for the tools for content editing and post-production. It is a nice Apple computer, but different camera, different microphone, different settings. I did record a couple episodes in the actual recording studio to kind of prove more of like mobility with the show. Like, you could use the same tools, but you can do it somewhere else. That was the goal with that. But the whole goal with the show is to just prove to you, the listener, if you're, been watching this from start to finish, to prove to you that you can do podcasting on a simple, minimal, cheaper scale. I didn't use the cheapest microphone that I could find. I've always wanted to try out this particular microphone, which is why I used this and not the Samson Q2U that I talked about in the technology episode. The goal is to, you can use Riverside. You can use, your camera, your built-in camera, or you could use your iPhone. I'm using my iPhone for mine. Just Apple computer trickery is what lets me do this. They have this thing called continuity camera where you can like stream your video Bluetooth to this. I don't know how they do it, but it's super cool. You can use your computer camera. You can use a microphone without. You can use a microphone with a USB-C cable. You don't have to do the whole, some people suggest some like, not every podcast studio, but some podcast studios suggest using, the Shure SM7B because that's like that's what Joe Rogan uses, or that's like the vocal microphone of the music industry. But then you got to get a cloud lifter, and then you got to make sure you have all the cables to connect it all together, and then you got to get the audio interface and make sure it's plugged in correct. It's just like so many components and barriers of entries right there alone that it's like, I worry that the people that do want to do a podcast will give up right away. And so I kind of wanted to prove that like, you don't need to do that. I will have some of the stuff that I talk about in I'm thinking I'm going to have some stuff that and you can record he's walking away now. You can record your podcast with your dog in the room, and a little bit of post-production work will minimize that. Maybe not mitigate it, but it'll minimize it. I don't know. Maybe one of our techs will take that sound out, but we'll see. My dog was here, shook a little bit, and now he's back in his bed sleeping. But yeah, I like the idea of minimizing your tools. And what I was going to say before my dog distracted me was that I'm thinking about having like an Amazon affiliate link in the description, just to like have some suggestions for you guys if you want to check out some other tech that I suggest to use that's like a little bit minimal. I don't know. I talked about in the tech episode that there's a lot of options out there, and I do give suggestions to some clients who are looking for like budget options, not like just the cheapest one, like budget friendly, but also like like what's the highest end one, what's the middle of the road, what's the cheapest one. So I am thinking about doing something like that, and it will include the whole Shure SM7B and the audio interface and the wires and stuff. But I'll try to make sure it's a little bit more friendly, I guess. And I don't know. Again, I really want to make sure that this is like lowest barrier of entry possible, so you can just like get right in and start recording your show. But yeah, so that's kind of what I was hoping for this season. And then, am I going to do more of these? I'm not quite sure yet. I like the idea of doing more, but I want to make sure I do something correct that makes sense. So what I was thinking about doing is like, if technically this is like the season 1 finale with the epilogue type thing, if you're following along on the strategy workbook, if you don't have one, you can download one in the link below or whatever. But this is kind of technically like my send-off page. It's the very last page on the workbook. So, you can kind of associate it with this. That's kind of what was going on in my head when I clicked record on this for this particular episode. But I'm thinking maybe doing like a Q&A type episode or two to kind of help talk about and curate your particular questions. It kind of depends on the timing. So I'm going to release all these episodes all at once. I'm probably going to give it like maybe a month. I'm going to give it some sort of time frame and kind of see if people do leave comments. The comments that are in I'm thinking about maybe the comments that are going to, I'm hoping show up throughout every episode here. I can collect some of those, if you have any questions and maybe someone hasn't responded and gave their insight. Because again, throughout the show, I'm saying, leave a comment below and let's create some kind of community, some kind of forum, some sort of like discussions between other podcasters and potential podcasters who have, maybe if there's some that are like unanswered, or if there's some people who are like asking directly me, I might respond to those and collect them and then respond to them. If you're listening to this on the audio version, if you guys want to, I never said this in any of the past episodes, I believe, but if you want to leave some kind of review, and just leave a question, like, a review would be nice. Like, oh, hey, great show. Good job. I'm like, make me feel nice about it. But like also leave my point, but also leave some kind of question on there, like I can totally respond to those. I try to be as flexible as possible. So that's kind of my idea of what would be flexible for the show. If you are listening to the audio version of this and you want to leave some kind of question, because I don't, at the time of this recording, I don't have anything set up to like leave, like, click a link here and submit your question or whatever. I don't have anything formed like that. So I think leaving a review would make the most sense. If not, what's a simple Google search and you can find this? Or if you're on our website, I should have a way for you to access the videos on there too. So that would be another option. But if you want to leave a comment right away, that would be an option. But yeah, that's what I think season 2 might look like, is at least doing maybe a couple of episodes that are Q&A based. If there are enough Qs, if there are enough questions. And maybe like the momentum is going to go well from there and I can just start doing more episodic type stuff instead of like a series. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know what the next series would be if I were to create another series. So maybe like the 5 essentials to home recording, or how to level up your podcast studio, or what is acoustic treatment, a DIY soundproofing system. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud now, right now. But anyways, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you guys so much for following along, for clicking on an episode and just checking it out. I mean, if you're watching this one, I'm assuming you're either joining for the first time. If you are, this is not the episode to jump in on right away because I'm getting kind of sentimental. There's no formal information in this episode. You are just listening to me to round out the show for this episode. Go back at least one episode to get some information. But thanks for checking it out. Seriously, it means a lot. If you guys have any ideas, if you want more content, if you want more series, if you want more informative based episodes, like feel free to reach out, leave a comment, email, whatever. Leave me some kind of food for thought if you want to see more. But yeah, I guess that being said, thank you so much for checking out the show, and check out the episodes again. It's all there for you. Free access, whatever. PDF, download it, reuse it multiple times. Check out the videos multiple times over. Like, use it as much as you need to. And if you want to talk to us, if you want to go into more consulting, I do offer consulting. If you want to have us edit your podcast on a regular basis, reach out. If you fill out a form showing interest in working with us on our contact page on wayfarerecording.com/contact, if you fill out that form, you'll get a bunch of goodies like this PDF. You'll get our packages and services form. You'll get our CV. I forgot what that's called. Curriculum something. But it's basically a snapshot of like what our business is about, who we are, and you'll see these episodes again. Or if you're watching the series because of that, thanks for submitting a form. I hope I reached out to you ASAP. But yeah, thanks again. Leave a comment, review it, share it, all that great stuff. Really appreciate you guys following along for the last 9 episodes, 10 episodes. See you in season 2 or the Q&A, whatever I come up with next. Bye.